to this special edition of What Love Looks Like. And tonight we are remembering the voice of love, Peabo Bryson. And this is coming 9 days after his passing on June the 2nd. And it's something because barely a couple months ago, 222.9 The Mothership, we just honored Peabo Bryson during the Aries season jam sessions. And now here we are having his libation show. Okay, this is painful. But I'm dealing with the awkwardness of feeling this deeply for someone that I never met. And I guess I kind of hang it up between being an empath and knowing that, our favorite musicians naturally become a part of our lives like extended family. So just taking a peek at Mr. Bryson's Quasar stats on Friday, April 13th, 1951, heaven sent Peabo Bryson to earth. And in the Ifa tradition, Friday is the day sacred to Oshun, and Oshun is the goddess of love. So he was born on the day of love. I mean, she's a Orisha of other things like abundance, allure, eroticism, but most of all, love and understanding. And Peabo Bryson was born on the day of love. Interesting. So that's like a connection to Peabo Bryson's consistent musical content, which was always about love. And the world received one of its greatest gifts on Friday the 13th, which kind of makes the superstition of Friday the 13th being a bad day or an unlucky day an absolute lie. So there's one little cosmic check mark that Peabo Bryson's human presence brought to Earth. And interestingly, when I got the news that he transitioned, DJ Black Ice called me and told me, and right when he was saying that, dark storm clouds were forming over my house. And it reminded me of the song Can You Stop the Rain? And that's one of my favorite love songs. And I could imagine we couldn't stop the rain that day because I could feel the worldwide heartbreak. Peabo Bryson was one of my favorites since adolescence, to tell you the truth. He was a sign of love that was ahead of my time because, all the other girls in high school were more into, your Ushers and your Tyrese's and who else was hot at the time? Rome, I Belong to You. And I liked those artists, but Peabo was my man in undergrad. I mean, not undergrad, but in high school. He was my go to for, the love songs. And it made me think about how that kind of love would feel to receive because it seemed to match the kind of love that I wanted to give in relationships. And that was way before I knew that love could be manifested. And I found it interesting to read about Peabo Bryson that he almost gave up on love himself. And how could a man that sings that much about love almost give up on love? I'm glad he didn't because he was blessed with true love in the end. And I was truly happy to see that. But what really jumped out about Peabo Bryson's character just by watching his interviews is that I heard him say in one interview that his greatest fear was being out of God's favor. Mic drop. As I reflect on his music, I'm filled with admiration towards him about how he stayed out of tabloid mess. He kept a gentle character, in Orisha tradition, we call that maintaining iwapele or living in good character. And he seemed to live the love that he sang about. No crossovers, no gimmicks, no trends, no arrogance. He even said himself that there were higher levels of success that he forego, that he turned down to stay true to himself. And I think that's a part of what made Mr. Bryson so magical and divine. Now, the first song I ever heard by Peabo Bryson was Nervous. It was an up-tempo song. And I was listening to vinyls with my mom in my mother's living room. And of course, Beauty and the Beast and A Whole New World really invoked the magical, Disney magic as a child. I was happy to see, a black man delivering those kinds of soft, loving vocals. And I can't really think of any Peabo Bryson songs that I didn't like, but my favorites, personal favorites, include Can You Stop the Rain, Unconditional Love, and a song that helped me through a lot of my personal heartbreaks, You Don't Have to Beg. And those were my favorites in high school until I came across Heavenly at my time at KPVU FM 91.3. And the PVAMU Marching Storm actually composed Can You Stop the Rain and made it a staple favorite of the halftime shows. But let's talk about Peabo Bryson's energetic alignment. I see his music as a go to for those who refuse to let the love inside of them die, no matter how much love seems to fail. Peabo Bryson's music is heart chakra medicine at its finest. Use it to remember love, to invoke divine love, and to believe that love is possible for you, no matter how many times love may have failed you in the past. One of his songs is an affirmation in itself. I am love. And what that says is you have to be love in order to attract love. And I loved how Peabo Bryce's music displayed a man who could love without ego, ulterior motive, or shame. He just, honest, vulnerable, smooth, masculine love and truth delivered in that silky voice that pierces straight to the soul. And I love how he showed how men could be gentle and loving and still be men. He is a symbol of as well as a voice of love. And we have to make sure that the voice of love echoes and generate for generations to come, especially in loveless, hatred invoked times like these. And to the spirit of Peabo Bryson, know that God is love as you were love. And as you journey on back to heaven, I would like to thank you for your gift of song and the consistent content thereof. Thank you for living what you spoke. Thank you for helping us to remember love in such a loveless world. And may the ancestors receive you with 9 times as much love as you've given and placed in the lives of others. Ashe? All right. So without further ado, let's get to it. Remembering the voice of love, Peabo Bryson. And yes, I'm going to cheat and start out with one of my absolute favorites, Unconditional Love, Sweet Love. Yes. Anyways, you can beam up using the player in the right at the top of the page if you're watching this from Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Y'all know the drill. The pin site link is in the profile and it's the first one at the top. Push the red play button and voila, welcome to the mothership. Beam up. We are remembering the voice of love.